Hello Newcastle Fans TV international recap. We're just having a look at some Newcastle players and what they've been up to in international break, I suppose. So we're going to start with all the Europeans and then we'll jump on to the rest of the world, so shall we call it. So first of all, thank you very much for everybody on the feedback for the 6,000 and us getting verified as well on Google and Facebook. That means a lot. I can reply to all yours, Facebook, Twitter, and obviously in the YouTube as well. So let's begin. We've had quite a lot of international players out, so I've got a little bit of running through dead quickly. So we'll start with Kieran Clark. He played in the friendly against Oman where Ireland won 4-0. He played the full 90, played centre-back. Didn't really get trouble, to be fair. And just tonight or last night, depending on when you watch this video, you come on literally in the dying minutes as Ireland were hanging on, they were literally hanging on to a 2-2 draw against Serbia away, so it's a good point for Ireland. Coming on to also his fellow Newcastle teammate, Daryl Murphy. He didn't see any action at all in the friendly against Oman, which was more or less Robbie Keane's send-off. So I was a little bit surprised Murphy didn't see any action, but he played roughly, it was about 14 minutes against Serbia, scored his first goal, which is fantastic. He's got off the score sheet, so it's unbelievable. Daryl Murphy has scored his first goal in 9 years for Ireland, his first ever goal in fact, so that'll do him the world of good as Ireland drew 2-2. Moving across to Paul Dummett, Wales were in action. They beat, it was Moldova 4-0, but Paul Dummett was on the bench, didn't get off the bench unfortunately, so he didn't make any appearances at all. Wales just had the one game. Moving on to Scotland, who also had just the one game. They defeated Malta 5-1. It was quite an even affair for quite a long period of that game, and harshly red card the Maltese centre-back. But Matt Ritchie will start with him. He played 86 minutes. He was outstanding. A beauty. He's got 2 assists. One of them, the first one, was a beauty from the left where he set up Chris Martin, an outstanding assist. Grant Hanley, also a fellow Newcastle player. He played the full 90 minutes. Didn't really get trouble too much. The goal that Malta scored wasn't his fault either. So pretty easy night for the Scots all in all. Matt Sells, Belgium were involved in 2 games. They played Spain in a friendly, which they got beat 2-0. Matt Sells didn't play any action and they were on the bench. And Belgium play tonight by the time this video goes out, so that'll be Tuesday night. They're playing in a qualifier against Cyprus. It's very, very likely that Matt Sells will play, because if you're dropping Courtois for Matt Sells, your head isn't screwed. That's not going to happen. Roberto Martinez will not do that. Moving on to the under-21s for England, Isaac Hayden has been called up. They haven't played their game against Norway, which is tonight. Again, on Tuesday, an under-21 Euro qualifier against Norway. England top the group, you would expect them to win that one. We're looking at the under-20s next, so Freddie Woodman. He played in a friendly against Brazil at St George's Park in Burton. An error led to Brazil's goal. Adam Armstrong also played in that game as well. He's busy out on loan at Barnsley. He missed a penalty, so it wasn't a great day for Newcastle all round for the kids there for the under-20s. But we've got some positive news, because Freddie Woodman was and is called up to the under-21s alongside Hayden for the Norway game. It's unlikely that he's going to play in any part, but it's his first step up to the under-21s, and hopefully going back to Isaac Hayden, he'll go on and be a regular for the next year and a half. Now we're going to come out of Europe and we're going to now look at, we're going to stay in Europe actually. I forgot about that man. Mitro's on fire, forgot about him. He played 59 minutes. I don't think this really mattered for us as Newcastle fans. This match was all about Mitrovic getting some match fitness ready for us coming back for Derby. He's played a good an hour, 59 minutes. Didn't really do much. He was very, very quiet. And obviously that's in the Ireland game, which we've already covered with Clark and Murphy as well. So 60 minutes under his belt, really good. Rafa will be pleased with that, and he's come away from no injuries. Right, now we'll come off. We're going to go across the world, more or less America and Africa, really. So going to start with DeAndre Yedlin, who played the full 90 as the USA hammered St. Vincent 6-0 in their World Cup qualifier. To be honest, the qualifying section over the North America is pretty poor, in the Caribbean as well. It's really weak. So 6-0. And they're playing a harder game actually against Trinidad. I believe that's Wednesday. That's a bit of a tougher game. He's expected to start right back as well. So that's on Wednesday for that one, or tomorrow when you're watching this, of course. And we're going to move to Africa. So Chancel Mbemba, right, played the full 90, but he didn't play in defence. No, Chancel Mbemba played in central midfield as they defeated Central African Republic 4-1, and they've also qualified for the African Cup of Nations. I'm going to come on to that in a minute. Moving across to Mo Diarmi, who didn't get off the bench for Senegal. He sat on the bench. They've also qualified. They topped their group by beating Namibia 2-0. Also, Christian Atsu, who we've recently just got on loan from Chelsea, he didn't come off the bench either, as Ghana drew 1-1 with Rwanda, but they topped their group as well, and they also qualify for the African Cup of Nations. You're going to see a trend happening here. Ashraf Lazar, guess what? His nation has qualified. Morocco are in the African Cup of Nations, and guess what? Ashraf Lazar was on the bench, but he did come off the bench as they defeated, I can't pronounce this, I've never heard of them, Sao Tame and Principal, I think that's pronounced as. It's an island just off Africa. They won 2-0. So Morocco qualified. So you're talking Mbemba, Diarmi, Atsu and Lazar. All their nations have qualified for the African Cup Nations, which means if they get picked, which it is likely, all 4 of them will be, they'll go to the African Cup Nations and miss a good 3.5 weeks to 4 weeks with Newcastle. So leave with squad kind of, I don't know, a bit bare thin as my poster drops down. Perfect timing. Bare thin in January. And also check Tio, if he's still at the club, he could come back into Ivory Coast as well. But that's been the international roundup. I thought I'll just get that out there for you and let you know what's been going on with the Newcastle players as well. I've been Lee on behalf of Newcastle Fans TV. See you later.